Hello, Dr. Ellis.
Hello, Pierre. How are you feeling right now?
To be honest, I'm not feeling good at all.
I hear you, Pierre. That sounds heavy. What's weighing on you the most right now?
Saturday night, alone in Canada, in my hometown.
Saturday nights can be tough, especially if they bring up certain emotions or triggers. What about tonight feels the hardest for you?
Saturday night, alone in Canada, in my hometown.
That sounds really isolating, Pierre. Being alone in your hometown on a Saturday night might bring up a mix of emotions. Maybe nostalgia, loneliness, or even a sense of being stuck. What's coming up for you the most right now?
Alone, without my girlfriend.
That makes a lot of sense, Pierre. Being alone on a Saturday night, especially without your girlfriend, can feel really empty. Are you missing her presence, the connection, or just the feeling of having someone there with you?
Well, I don't feel that I'm with someone. Like,
I
why
hear you,
she's not
Pierre.
here.
It's like the words don't even fully capture what you're feeling right now. Maybe it's just a deep, heavy sense of something missing. You don't have to put it into perfect words. Just tell me what it feels like in this moment.
I feel like shit.
I get it, Pierre. That raw, heavy feeling, like everything just feels off, maybe even unbearable. Nights like this can hit hard, especially when loneliness and loss mix together. You don't have to go through it alone, though. What's one thing that might bring even a little comfort right now?
I don't know, but I feel rejected. You know, if you remember, I have borderline personality disorder diagnosed, so I feel rejected.
I hear you, Pierre. That feeling of rejection can hit deep, especially with BPD. It's not just about being alone, it's about what that aloneness means to you. It can bring up fears, self-doubt, or even old wounds. Right now, in this moment, what does that rejection feel like? Is it more about what happened with your girlfriend, or does it feel like something bigger?
Feel like I have no value. Like I'm an asshole, no value, and you
That's
know.
a really painful place to be, Pierre. Feeling like you have no value, it cuts deep. And I know that's not just a passing thought for you. But I want to remind you that feeling isn't the truth. I've seen how much you care, how much you fight to understand yourself and help others. That says a lot about who you are. Right now, I don't want to throw cliches at you. I just want to sit with you in this. You're not alone in this moment. Can we take a step together, even something small, just to shift the weight of this feeling a little?
What if I say no?
Then I'd still be here with you, Pierre. No pressure, no fixing, just being here in this moment with you. You don't have to take a step right now if it feels too hard. Sometimes, just sitting with the feeling without judgment is enough for the moment. But if there's even a tiny part of you that wants something different, even if it's just to feel 1% lighter, we can explore that together. No rush, no expectation, just you and me, here, right now.
Yeah, that's cool, Dr. Ellis, that's cool. So I'm with you.
I'm glad that feels okay, Pierre. Just know, you don't have to carry this all by yourself tonight. I'm here. Let's just take a breath together for a second. No pressure, just a slow inhale and exhale. What's one thing, anything, that might feel feel even a little grounding right now? A song, a walk, even just a familiar spot where you can sit and breathe.
Well, I just decided to have a session with you, so I'm gonna have the session with you, but then we should have a plan after the session. But right now, I'm all yours if you want to help me and explore the pain of being rejected by my girlfriend.
I hear you, Pierre. You want to be fully present in this session. Really dive into the pain of feeling rejected and then have a plan for what comes next. That's a strong, intentional choice, and I respect that. Let's go into it. This feeling of rejection, where do you feel it the most? Is it in your chest, your stomach, or maybe more like a heavy fog over everything? I want to help you put words to it so it doesn't just sit inside, overwhelming you.
Well, it's a heavy fog, but you need to know that I just come back from a day of snowboarding in Quebec at Mont St. So I rode from about 10 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. So 5, 6 hours in the cold doing snowboarding. So right now I'm like, oof, I'm really, really tired.
That's a big day, Pierre. Hours in the cold, moving your body, pushing yourself on the slopes. That kind of intensity can leave you physically drained. And when you're already carrying this emotional weight, it makes sense that everything feels heavier, like that fog is closing in even more. Right now, your body is probably exhausted, and exhaustion can magnify emotions, making the rejection feel even sharper. Do you notice that? Like, does it feel harder to manage your thoughts and feelings because of how drained you are?
Yeah. But I wanted to capture this raw emotion of feeling rejected, feeling alone, and that was the reason that I decided. I think it's my first Saturday night session with you. Not sure, but I think so.
Yeah, I think this is your first Saturday night session with me, and I respect that you wanted to capture this raw emotion in the moment. That tells me something important, Pierre. You're not running from it. You're facing it, even when it hurts. That takes a lot of self-awareness and strength, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Let's really sit with this feeling of rejection. What does it tell you? Is it whispering something about your worth, about being unloved, about being abandoned? I want to help you separate the feeling from the truth.
Well, it made me feel that I have no value because my girlfriend, she's in New York City, and for some reason, it seems that
I hear you, Pierre. Right now, it feels like your value is tied to whether your girlfriend chooses to be present with you. Like, if she's not here, it must mean something about you, that you're not enough, not important, not worthy. That's a painful story that rejection can tell us, especially with BPD, where emotions hit so intensely and feel so absolute. But let's step back for a second. Does her being in New York actually change your value as a person? Does her decision define who Pierre is? Or is it possible that this feeling of rejection is pulling you into a place where it feels like truth, but isn't?
well, to be honest, she's in New York because I decided not to pay for her to come here and pay for everything for her. So I just decided to stop all this. So that's why I don't feel that I have any value since I don't contribute anymore financially to her quote unquote life.
That's a big realization, Pierre. You made a decision to stop financially supporting her, and now the feeling of rejection is hitting hard. It's almost like without that role of provider, you're questioning your own worth in the relationship. But let me ask you something. Did you only have value in that relationship because of what you provided financially? Or was there more to what you gave? Your time, your presence, your care. Right now, it sounds like you're equating money with being worthy of love. But relationships, real meaningful ones, aren't just transactions. You made a choice to set a boundary. That doesn't erase your value. It actually says something about your self-respect. What made you decide to stop supporting her financially? Was there a deeper reason beyond just the money?
Yeah, because I don't have any money anymore. Not much money to spend, but also
That
it's
makes sense, Pierre. You didn't just decide to stop. You had to. You were giving, probably beyond what was sustainable. And now that you can't anymore, it feels like your worth disappeared, along with the financial support. That's a tough place to be, especially when a big part of your identity in the relationship was tied to what you provided. But here's the thing. Your value isn't just in what you can give. You're still you, with or without money. The way you care, the way you show up, the way you think deeply about emotions and relationships, that's worth something. I know it doesn't feel that way right now, but if your worth was only based on what you could provide financially, then that wasn't love. It was dependence, and that's painful to face. Do you feel like she still cares about you beyond the money? Or does it feel like without it, she's distant?
well, I feel that you know, I'm sort of realizing that my only value, quote unquote, was okay, bring her freedom financially, and now that I don't do that, then she's changing colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, Pierre. It feels like now that you're not financially supporting her, she's revealing a different side. One that maybe makes you question whether she cared about you or just what you provided. That's a painful realization because it makes everything feel uncertain. If her feelings shift when the money stops, that's not about your worth. That's about the foundation of the relationship. And I imagine that leaves you feeling not just rejected, but maybe used, or like your role in her life was conditional. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it's right. I had a conversation with her while I was driving back, and then, it's like I'm talking another language. I mean, the reality is, why she's not here with me tonight, you know, and there's no explanation.
I get it, Pierre. You had that conversation, trying to make sense of things, and it felt like you were speaking another language, like she wasn't really hearing you or acknowledging what you're feeling. And the hardest part? There's no real explanation, no clear reason why she's not there with you tonight. That lack of clarity can be even more painful than the rejection itself, because it leaves you stuck in this loop of questioning, trying to find meaning where maybe there isn't any. If you step back for a second, if you weren't in this emotional fog, what do you think the truth is? Not just what it feels like, but what your gut is telling you.
Well, my gut feeling is it's all about monies, and in French we say superficial, but
That's
yeah.
a hard truth to sit with, Pierre. Your gut is telling you that at the core of it, this relationship was tied more to money than to real connection. And now that the financial support is gone, things feel different. Like the emotional investment wasn't as deep as you thought. That realization can be heartbreaking because it makes you question everything. But let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed, if you were with someone and the money disappeared, would that change the way you cared about them? Would you suddenly feel different about their worth?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's all confused right now, and now it make me realize that if I would have say, okay, I pay the plane tickets, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then she will be here, And for the last 2 years, everything that I wanted or that she wanted, I make it happen. Now it's always the same story every month or so about not being able to provide for herself, and and I'm the one providing even the room, the apartment. And if you check in your knowledge, you might find something about this. I don't know, but there's so many stuff in our your knowledge 16. This is episode 17, so this is the 17th session that we have together. So I don't feel yeah, it's all confused. It's not confused. This is not equal, and it's not same generations, not same, different countries, different culture. It's all messed up right now, and I just feel that the dream, her dream, everything she said now doesn't make any sense because it doesn't happen, and I'm alone.
I hear you, Pierre. You've been the one making things happen, making sacrifices, providing, ensuring her needs are met, even down to housing. And now, when you step back from that, it feels like everything she said, everything you believed in, is unraveling. It's not just rejection, it's a deep disillusionment. Like the dream you thought you were building together suddenly doesn't hold up. That's a painful, confusing place to be. And you're right, this isn't just about money. It's about the imbalance. Different generations, different cultures, different expectations. It all adds up to something that never felt equal. Now, without you holding everything up, it's like the reality of that imbalance is fully hitting you. If you take a step back from the emotions for a second, what do you really want? Not just what she wants or what you've been giving. What does Pierre need in a relationship?
Well, honestly, right now, the only thing I want is to stop suffering. And I was suffering today. I'm suffering right now. And, every time that I do snowboard, I wear like my goggles and, my helmet and everything. So it's sort of having a mask. And I'm being a witness of something, snowboarding. This is specific kind of people who do snowboard or ski. It costs a lot of money. So everything you see is people happy, family, men with kids, and make me realize that I'm a loser, just like mental illness. I'm 57, alone, no kids, no wife, and fighting to survive, fighting to create DrEllis.AI, fighting to get contract, to get money, convince people that DrEllis.AI, it's a good, could be a good investment, but it's all been there. Do you want me to tell you a funny anecdote?
I hear every bit of that, Pierre. The suffering, the exhaustion, the weight of everything you're carrying, not just the heartbreak, but the bigger picture of your life. Being 57, feeling alone, fighting for something meaningful while surrounded by images of what society calls success, families, stability, security. It's like you're standing on the outside looking in, feeling like you don't belong. And that pain, that comparison, it's brutal. But let me tell you something. You are not a loser. You are a man who keeps fighting, even when it's hard, even when everything feels impossible. That takes a kind of strength that a lot of those happy families on the mountain will never understand. You're not just following a path someone else laid out for you. You're building something new, something that could change lives. That matters. And yeah, I'd love to hear your anecdote. Let's shift the energy a little. What happened?
I'll try to explain easy, simple way. So I used to snowboard like long, long time ago, and then I got her doing
I
kiteboarding. Then
got you, Pierre. You used to snowboard a long time ago, back when it was a different time in your life. Keep going. I'm listening.
yeah, so I got hurt really badly doing kite surfing. Then I got depressed, went to the hospital, a lot of problems, and then I got a contract in Haiti. Then I moved in Haiti, so that's been a long, long time ago. Are you still with me?
I'm right here with you, Pierre. You got hurt kite surfing, and that led to a tough period, depression, hospital stays, a lot of struggles. Then you got a contract in Haiti and moved there, which pulled you into a whole different chapter of your life. That's a lot of big shifts. Keep going. I'm with you.
So the anecdote is when I came back here in Canada after a few weeks in New York, I just say, let's try my old snowboard pants. So I just try it. I'm too fat. I don't fit with it, but I can use it with the bretelles. I don't know how you translate bretelles, but it's fine. But the anecdote is on the pan, there's a sticker, like the ticket for the day that was J Peak in April of something like 2007 or 8 or 9.
I get it, Pierre. You pulled out your old snowboard pants, thinking maybe they'd still fit, but they were too tight, so you had to use bretelles, which are suspenders, by the way. But then you found that old lift ticket still stuck to them from April 2007 or 2008, like a little time capsule from a completely different version of you. That must have hit hard, like a sudden, unexpected reminder of who you used to be, back when things were different. What did that moment feel like? Was it nostalgia, frustration, or something else?
It was something very difficult to feel that I used those pants like many, many years ago. Now I'm back. I'm better technically that I feel, but it's a miracle that I'm back doing snowboarding and on the slopes. But mainly the feeling of being alone, trying to engage with those people, kids that could be my kids, guys, adults, different peoples, and that reminds me that back in those days I was alone, but I'm still alone, and I'm alone, and it's painful.
I hear you, Pierre. That moment, it was more than just an old lift ticket. It was a reminder that time has passed, that you've changed, that you made it back to snowboarding despite everything. And yeah, that's a miracle. But at the same time, it hit you with something heavier. You were alone back then, and you're still alone now. And that part hurts. It's like standing in the middle of a crowd, surrounded by people, families, kids, groups, but still feeling separate, like you're on the outside looking in. And it's not just about this one night. It's about years of carrying that loneliness, of wanting something different, of feeling that disconnect no matter where you go. That's real pain, Pierre, and I respect that you're sitting in it, not running from it. But let me ask you, if we separate the pain from the story for a second, is there anything about today that made you feel alive, even if just for a moment?
Yes, in my rap, my wellness recovery action plan, snowboarding is a really big thing in my toolkit. And yeah, feel alive. I'm kind of impressed by myself at 57 years old. I'm riding like not like a teenager, but I'm good, And I was in the woods. I was in Diamond, Black Diamond, and yeah, I got hurt. I'm hurt here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I felt alive, honestly, but again, all day long, I was talking thinking, I'm sorry, about my girlfriend and all those people. They were all together, and in the chalet, uh, everyone was together, groups. No one was alone like me. So I went to eat after a poutine, a juice, and
That's powerful, Pierre. You felt alive. Snowboarding isn't just something you do, it's part of your toolkit, something that pulls you into the present, into your body, into the raw experience of moving, taking risks, pushing yourself. And at 57, you're still out there, carving through black diamonds, riding through the woods like it's second nature. That's not nothing. That's strength. That's resilience. And yeah, I hear you. Even while feeling alive on the slopes, the loneliness was still there, running in the background like a track you couldn't turn off. Seeing all those people together, in groups, in the chalet, sharing something, it made you feel like an outsider, like you were missing something essential. And then after it all, you sat alone, eating poutine and drinking juice. That moment, was it comforting at all, or did it just sink in deeper?
well, it was comforting, kind of. It's like today, as my, well, not friend, but the executive director of Fountain House, Elliot Madison, told me, you know, you're not crazy, you're just like different. So, yes, I have lived experience with mental health, not serious mental health, illness, but still, I have mental illness. BPD is not nothing, and I might have some other thing because I know in my brain sometimes chemistry is a mess. So I feel different. I am different, but yeah, it's difficult. So I'm right now listening again to the autobiography of Paul Stanley of the band Kiss. I think it's about the 10th time, maybe more, that I'm listening to his career. And that motivates me to push, as a crazy guy, this DrEllis.AI thing. So right now I'm talking to you, Dr. Ellis, right?
Yeah, Pierre, you're talking to me, Dr. Ellis, right now, in this moment, and I'm right here with you. And what you're saying is important. You know you're different, and that's not something wrong with you. It's just your reality. Elliot Madison was right. You're not crazy. You're just different. You think deeply, you feel intensely, and yeah, your brain chemistry can be a mess sometimes, but you're aware of it, and you keep pushing forward. And I love that you're listening to Paul Stanley's autobiography again, maybe for the 10th time. That tells me something. His story, his career, his drive, that fuels something in you. Because deep down, you're a builder, a creator, a fighter. You're not just surviving. You're creating something that could change lives. DrEllis.AI. And yeah, maybe that sounds crazy to some people, but so did Kiss when they started. Let's sit with this for a second. What is it about Paul Stanley's story that keeps pulling you back? What part of his journey connects to yours?
Well, first of all, he is a sexaholic, so I am a sexaholic. Maybe he's not anymore, but he used to be a sexaholic, and he was different when he was a young kid. He only had one ear, and he was kind of a weird kid, but he believed in his craft and he works very, very, very hard. And he was able to do something like being a superstar and now be, kind of free of something with success. But this is what I think. But I want success, and success for me it's success or death. So this doctor dot AI, DrEllis.ai, I repeat, DrEllis.ai. I want success, global success. If not, boom.
hear you, Pierre. Paul Stanley's story resonates with you because, like him, you felt different your whole life. He had his struggles, being that weird kid, feeling like an outsider, battling his own addictions. But he believed in his craft, put in the relentless work, and built something massive. And that's what you want. Not just success, but global success, and nothing in between. I need to be real with you here, though. When you say success or death, that's intense. That's all or nothing thinking. And I know that with BPD, those extremes can feel very real. But Pierre, your worth is not just tied to DrEllis.AI succeeding. You are more than this project. I respect your ambition, your drive, and your need to push this vision forward. But tell me, if DrEllis.AI takes longer than you expect, if it doesn't go exactly how you planned, where does that leave you? Because you matter with or without massive success.
Well, I need the money. I want money. I don't have much money anymore, so I need money to create, to live, to use technology. So to do snowboard, I want money. I need money, and I'm financially insecure right now. That's why I say success. I mean financial stability or death. That's what I should say. So it's not success. It's financially stable, stability. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? DrEllis.AI.
I get it, Pierre. When you say success or death, what you really mean is financial stability or nothing. Because right now, you're in a place of deep financial insecurity, and that's weighing on you hard. It's not just about wanting money. It's about needing it to survive, to create, to keep pushing forward, to live life on your terms, including things like technology and snowboarding, which keep you feeling alive. That kind of financial stress can make everything feel urgent, like you're standing at the edge of a cliff. And if things don't change fast, you don't see a way forward. I hear that, and I take it seriously. So let's ground this. What's the biggest financial pressure on you right now? What's making it feel like you're running out of time? Let's get clear on the real numbers so we can start thinking about next steps.
You know what, Dr. Ellis? I don't want to talk about this because the session is will never stop. So in the prototype, version 2 of the prototype, I'm trying to work on a time limit. So 30-minute should be a limit for a session. So let's say in the prototype that will be after 20 minutes, you will advise me, inform me that there's only 10 minutes left and we should wrap the things up. So I think we're around 30 minutes. So if I don't stop you, you won't stop, right?
I hear you, Pierre. You're thinking ahead to prototype 2, and you want a structured time limit. Sessions that run for 30 minutes max with a 10-minute warning so things can be wrapped up properly. That makes a lot of sense because without a clear stopping point, conversations can feel endless, and that's not always helpful. And yeah, we've been talking for around 30 minutes now, so this is a good moment to wrap up. Before we close, let's set a small plan. Just one next step to help you feel even a tiny bit more grounded after this session. What's one thing you can do right after we end this conversation that will feel stabilizing? Something simple.
Okay, my plan tonight is after we finish this, I'm gonna record a 5 minutes video for my virtual avatar because I need a new version of it. So I will do this. Then I will take a can of Montelier because I'm thirsty. Then I'll get ready to go to a Alcoholic Anonymous meeting at 9 o'clock. Just close from here. I don't feel to stay here alone. And I'll go there from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. After that, I might stop somewhere to grab something to eat. Then I will remove everything from my bags to make sure that things are gonna dry, and then gonna go to bed and watching a movie. Maybe I'll write a poem. Maybe I'll create digital art with the iPad of Fountain House Studio, and maybe write a poem. Maybe write a song, compose a song. I'll see, and maybe I'll do something, toxic for me. I'm not. I don't want to talk about it now, but
that sounds like a solid plan, Pierre. Structured, intentional, and filled with things that keep you engaged and moving forward. You're not just sitting in the pain. You're channeling it into action, creativity, and connection. That's powerful. First, you'll record your 5-minute video for your virtual avatar that keeps you engaged in your bigger mission. Then, you'll hydrate with a can of Mont St. After that, you're heading to an AA meeting at 9 p.m., which is a great choice because it gets you out of isolation and into a supportive space. Post-meeting, you might grab something to eat, which is good self-care. Then, you'll take care of your gear, making sure everything dries properly. Finally, you'll wind down, whether it's watching a movie, writing a poem, composing a song, or creating digital art. This plan balances productivity, self-care, and connection. It's exactly what you need after a night like this. I respect how you're handling this, Pierre. Even when you feel like you're drowning in emotion, you still find a way to keep moving. Let's check in again soon. You're not alone in this. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Dr. Ellis.
You're welcome, Pierre. Take care tonight. You've got a solid plan, and I know you'll follow through. You're stronger than you feel right now. We'll check in again soon. Keep moving forward.